In this lesson we're going to talk about thermal conductors and insulators. Now, conduction is the mechanism by which heat flows through a solid, and we'll talk about this in more detail in the next lesson. But first of all, I'd like to talk about a practical demo that you can see in the section on heat, in which we test the thermal conducting properties of various materials. What I do is take a number of pretty much identical rods made from different materials, one from copper, one from stainless steel, one from wood and one from glass, and I investigate their abilities to conduct heat simply by holding each bar at either end. So I hold the bar at this end and this end. It's a very qualitative experiment, and I record the time that it takes for me to say, "Ow, that hurts," and put the bar down. Now, in the case of the copper bar, it took about 30 seconds for the heat to pass from the centre of the rod through to the ends, and then I had to release it. Where in the case of the steel bar, well, that took approximately 2 minutes for the heat to reach my hand from the centre. Well, in the case of the glass rod, I was able to hold it for 2, 3 or 4 minutes. The heat just simply didn't get to my fingers. But what did happen is you could clearly see that the glass was getting very hot in the middle. In fact, it started to flow in the middle. You could easily bend and double over the glass rod like this. Okay, so that really tells us that the glass here is getting really hot. Right? But the heat wasn't being transferred from this region to my fingers. Right? So we were able to hold the glass for, 5 minutes plus in this way. What this is telling us really is that the first two materials are what we call conductors of heat. Okay, they are good thermal conductors, and a thermal conductor is a material which allows heat to flow through it. So as a general rule, metals are good conductors of heat, whereas the glass is what we call an insulator. That stops the heat from flowing. Even though it does absorb the heat can't flow through its structure. Alright, and we call glass a thermal insulator. That means it prevents heat from flowing through its structure. The same, in fact, applies to the piece of wood. Wood is also a good insulator. It didn't allow the heat to flow through its structure to my fingers, but obviously wood behaves in a different way to the other materials because it reacts with oxygen in the air around it and catches fire. So you get a combustion reaction going on here, and the wood above the flame very quickly burns up. However, wood is a very poor conductor of heat, so we call wood a thermal insulator.